I'm Karen Knight. I joined in 2003 here in London. I'm with the 1st Hussars Reserve Regiment in London. I just love it. Like, it's such a huge part of my life, and it just feels so proud to be part of it. My dad's family's all military. My dad was in for 6 years. My great-grandpa and my grandpa were both World War II, and my great-grandpa was also World War I. He tried to go back to Korea because he loved it so much, but he was too old, and he lied about his age, and they had to say, "Thank you for your service, sir, but you can't come back." I've deployed to Afghanistan once, 2008, 2009. I was there for 8 months, and then for a domestic op, I just did the Op Lentis in Montreal for the floods. I was there for just over 2 weeks. Us to build a big dike around the water treatment plant because the water was getting pretty close to it, and they said if the water treatment plant became contaminated, then I think it was 155,000 people wouldn't have fresh water. So they gave us 48 hours to do that, and we had it done in 9, so they were pretty impressed. I was with CIMIC, which is Civilian Military Cooperation Group. So they go out to the different areas in the villages and see what people need for help, like fresh water, like they can get wells. 6 weeks I actually got to be on the ground and do patrolling, which I like that, because you're like, all the kids come running up to you, and they all want a pen, and they all want water, and they're just so happy to see you. So yeah, just worked with them for 8 months, and I really enjoyed it. I'd go back again. In Afghanistan, when I was in Massangar, one of the mechanics had built a little motorcycle out of ammo cans for a seat and the gator, like the golf cart tires, and this little engine on it. So, but the seat was pretty wide, because it was 2 ammo cans wide, so I couldn't really touch the bottom, but he's like, "Take it for a ride down the camp." What they didn't tell me is it doesn't have brakes. He didn't make brakes for it. So once you start, and it went like 60 kilometers an hour, so I get flying up, and then I'm trying to stop, and they're yelling at me, "Put your feet down." Like, you had to drag your feet to stop. Well, my feet didn't touch. So I did this big loop around, I almost flipped it, and I ended to keep going, but then I crashed in all these big barrels, and that really hurt. I went down hard. They have it on video, but I just bruised my leg really, really bad, but I just remember I'm coming right, I'm like, I gotta stop, something has to stop me, and I just went right into it, closed my eyes, but I didn't hurt myself, luckily, just bruised, but yeah. The Family Guy TV show, they did a spoof of that where it's Peter Griffin and dressed as a clown with a bunch of soldiers. There's a picture saying, "Idiots, they'll be looking for soldiers," because he's dressed as a big clown. Well, one of our guys got someone to send a clown suit to him, so we did a little spoof. They took a picture of it, and it's all of us in our army uniform all ready with our guns, and then he's a clown with a gun, and that's the bottom, the caption said, "They'll be looking for soldiers." But he made t-shirts of it in CAF, like in the airfield, because they had a t-shirt maker there. And then we were in Holland for the 70th anniversary of the liberation. But that one probably the most, because we got to really interact with the kids, because we went just as the regiment, not with the whole army. So there's only, I think there's 15 or 20 of us. So you got to go around with, like, stay in the village with the people, and it's just crazy. Like, these people still remember everything that the Canadians did back then. Like, I obviously wasn't a part of that, but they just, even just Canadians in general, not military, they just love it. And the kids go and they clean all the graves, and they take care of them at Christmas time, and they learn it all through in their school, which I feel like we don't get that as much in Canada because war wasn't here. But over there, they still remember it so much, and they're just so thoughtful. Like, I was nowhere near to being around when that happened, and they still, like, just so thankful, and they'll do anything, give you anything you want, free beer, free food. They just love it, and it just, like, it was crazy to see the appreciation that they have. I don't feel like doing anything specific, but just, like, say thank you. Not really anything you have to do, just realize that people, like, we leave our homes, or like me as a reservist, like, I have to go to work, ask for time off work, and leave. You take your whole life and you leave it for like 18 months, you're gone by the time you do your training, and then you go over. And I don't know if some people realize how much that is, especially if you have children, or just your own daily routine, like your house and everything, you gotta get someone to take care of it, and I just don't know if people realize how much that actually is to just uproot and leave for so long. But just a simple thank you. I don't think anything specifically needs to be done. If I make it to warrant, which is the next rank, I'll be the first female warrant in the 1st Hussars ever. And if I make it to Sergeant Major, that'd be really awesome, because I'd be the first female for that too. Not that I care about that, but other people seem to. But I would love to make it up. I would never go officer, sir.